Hey, what's going on, guys? Yodomoto here, and today we're gonna be going over another art video. We're doing tips and tricks. I had a poll on my not safe for work Twitter. We're gonna be doing some anatomy quick tips, so let's get to it. So starting off, we're just gonna go over some common mistakes that I see beginner artists do. Starting off with everyone's favorite, the hands. So let's pretend this is a forearm, okay? I see a lot of people, they make the forearm or the wrist too thick. So just to make the forearm, we're just gonna do a kind of slanted rectangle. Put a circle there for just for our mind to know that that's where the wrist is gonna be. And so a rule of thumb is with my hand, my wrist is about half the length of the width of the hand. So we do that. That's about 1/3. So let's make it a little smaller. So your thumb is gonna go here. Pinky. And hands kind of fan out if you have them open like this. For hand references, you can always look at your own hand, or you can take a picture of your hand. Like if you have a phone, most people nowadays have a phone, or a camera near you. You can just take a picture and then use that as a reference. So this is a little too wide. But I see a lot of beginner artists, they make their wrists really thick. Like, if it's a man, it's a little thicker. It can be really stylized too. So, like, take that with a grain of salt. And then from the finger here, the thumb is gonna go here. And looking at your palm from the front, of course, you're gonna have this ridge here. You know, your normal lines. But looking at it from the front, you're gonna, it's just gonna be kind of flat here, like there's no excess skin. But looking at it from the other side where the knuckles are, so if we just, draw a thumb, hand, finger, we're just gonna do something simple. So from here, you can there's like a little bit of webbing, like skin, in between the fingers. And this is where the knuckles are gonna be. Just something I don't see a lot of artists utilizing when they're drawing hands. Make the thumb a little bigger. Just something real simple like. Then the thumb goes into the wrist. Like I said, you can always use your own hand pictures as references to get what you want. Like if you need a specific pose, if you break, instead of just using your hand every time, like as a reference, do a breakdown of your hand. I should have taken a picture for this, but oh well. So kind of like when using references, I'm gonna go over this in my reference video, but you want to break down the reference. You don't want to use it just verbatim and kind of trace almost. That way, when you actually work on this one, we're just gonna do a fist. But when you actually work on drawings, you actually kind of get a better idea of how, you know, certain sections work together. Like, I'm not the most, what's the word, anatomically correct, but like I get by. And I'm also gonna put a link to my not safe for work Twitter. It is 18 plus only in the description down below. For now, we'll see how YouTube deals with that. But I'm doing a giveaway there since I hit 5,000 followers on Twitter recently. Link again is gonna be in the description. Like, for my intents and purposes, this drawing of the hand gets me where I need to go, you know? Kind of curves too. There's something stuff like that you just pick up from looking at pictures and kind of doing a breakdown. So I know this is the base of the hand. It curves this way. The knuckles are gonna be here. No, just the fingers. The pinky's just over here because the thumb is gonna be on this side. Because of this angle. From the side, it's like the thing I said about earlier where this is about half the length, the wrist is about half the length of the hand. It kind of goes out the window when you're looking at it from the side. But you don't want a wrist that's too chunky. Unless, like, again, if that's the style you're going for. And I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm no expert at anything I do. I'm just what helped me get to where I am. Something simple like this. Knuckles are gonna be here. The thumb is gonna be here, but from this angle you shouldn't really see it. And depending on how clenched the fist is, it could really ball up. And then now we're just gonna go over, so that's hands, a little bit of hands, nothing too crazy. We'll do like a serious hand breakdown if you guys want. Let me know in the comments if you guys are looking forward to that. We're gonna do torsos. So we're gonna do just like a breakdown. I did some studies on muscles. A lot of tutorials, I think, have muscle, you know, you want to break down the muscles and stuff. I've done that, so I have a little bit of knowledge of that, but today we're just gonna go over something like real simple. So if you're gonna be looking from like so the head attaches to the spine, right? This line right here is gonna be our spine. The spine does not curve that much. You can't, if a person's looking like this, right? Let's say this is from the side, shoulder's gonna be here. This is the rib cage. This is where your guts are, and then this is your hips. You can only bend about here. Most of your bending is gonna happen around the hips. So when we draw our body, let's get rid of this. When we draw our body, we're gonna draw this head. We could just place that in as a circle. If it helps you a little bit, you can make it a little oblong-ish. From the front, we go square or rectangle for our rib cage. if that helps you. This is your spine. Your spine again cannot bend that much. Your spine connects to the back of the head. So if your head was like this, it connects right about there. Just like real life, right? Your ears there, your head's there. This is your shoulders. See? Easy. So from the front, this is where your guts are. For girls, their hips are going to be wider. For guys, their shoulders are going to be wider. For now, we're just going to do about kind of even. Circle, circle. Make the hips a little wider. Circle, circle. So those are your joints where the body actually connects. Put some lines for our limbs. I'm gonna switch pens here. Something with a little bit more opacity. The same, this is the same pen I used for the line art tutorial. Oh, let's zoom out a bit. So line going down, knee. Line going down, knee. Feet. For feet, we're just gonna use like a triangles, I guess. Rhombus, I think it was called in high school. For hands, they're gonna go about here, right where the hip, where the leg starts, I guess, right around the pelvic region. So now that we have that, we're gonna erase this so we have more room. Layer, duplicate layer. So now we have a copy. So now if you mess up, you still have your building blocks. So now we're gonna flesh it out. So we're gonna use those same shapes we used earlier, these, to just build out our form. Depending on how skinny or how muscular you want it. We're gonna put a line right here for where the pelvic is. It's not that kind of video. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? So we have the building block. We're gonna turn down the opacity of this layer so that now it's not all jumbled, right? It's a little lighter. We can see better. The head goes here. Let's say the ears. This is the hairline. Eyes. You put your dots. Neck. Shoulders. And we're gonna put those same shapes that we've been using. Your arm looks a lot thinner from the front than it does from the side. So if it's from the side, it's gonna look something like that. From the front, it's gonna look something like this. Just something to keep in mind. The hips, we already fleshed that out in the planning phase. Then the legs, I think when you get to the knees, the outside of the knee, so the part that's not in your body, goes in or is higher than the inside part. So you can do that. When you're first starting out, instead of using like round shapes, use kind of more angular shapes. It's a little bit more organic, I think the word was called. So again, the knee is in the inside. The thigh is going to come on the outside. Higher. This for the pelvic region. that. Put the hand there. Put the hand there. For this, we're just gonna put a triangle where the, just so we know where the ankles are. Feet. Feet. And there's our body. Put this all in that. We're gonna just, so next we're gonna go over from the side. One thing I learned, you can skip a few steps. If you're drawing a female character, I think this works for men too, you just draw a bean. See, draw a bean. Don't forget your spine. Your spine connects to the back of the head. Shoulder. Leg. You can even out the back a bit if you don't want it that anime. Rough up the tummy. There's a little slight bump right here. Not the tummy, but then, yeah, like that. Chest goes here. Put a line there. This is where we put the shoulder. You can put your arm. Erase all this. There we go. The arm covers half the back anyway. But yeah, we start off with the bean shape. Go for there. The next thing we're gonna go over, another common mistake I see, is faces. So if you want to just start off, you draw a circle, right? You draw a line going down. This is just, you know, front view. Front view is a little tricky because if you're not looking at your screen straight, then it can seem a little off. So one tip I found is you make your oval. And just to make sure your eyes are aligned, if you break down the oval, so you put one in, you put a line in the middle, right? This is your line in the middle. You break it down so that there's lines. You basically cut each half into half. So there's 4 now. Right? Let's do the opacity so you can see better. I'm gonna darken the color a bit. So now that we have that basic shape, if you're going for more anime look, you go for your triangle chin. You got your ears here. The ears, this middle line, it's gonna be about the middle of the ears, maybe a little higher. Now that we got these lines, we know the nose is gonna be here because that's the middle. The mouth is also gonna be right here. Going down from the middle, if we cut this into fourths, just like we did before, this is where our mouth's gonna be. And then now right a little closer to this line, right in the middle here, we're just gonna put 2 dots. Okay, they're lined up with the lines, so we know they're in the same place. This line up here, so that's the middle. Cut it into thirds. That line, we can make that the hairline. And like I said before, instead of making just a plain circle, if you add a little bit of like angle to it, it looks a little better in my opinion. I learned that from Cynics. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. But now that we have our circles, if we just make them into eyes, make sure it's lined up. Let's make the bottom of the eyes where the line was. You got a face. Now, like I said in the last video, I'm going to keep hammering this into you. Make sure you switch your canvas around to make sure things are straight. Especially if you're doing this one. Eyebrows can go right here. We're going to move our hairline up a bit. So those are just rough estimates, yeah? You can always... This is just a guideline to get you where you need to go. It'll get you halfway there. Okay. We switch back. It's looking okay. For the purposes of this video, that's fine. For the purposes of this video, that's fine. We're gonna do the same from everyone's favorite position, the 3/3 angle. 3/3? Third person? Okay, so for this one, we're gonna draw a square or rectangle, right? We draw our circle. This is the back of the head. Your spine goes here. That's where your neck is gonna be. So let's just put the neck in. You have your circle. Now, you draw a line down the middle where the middle of the face is gonna be, right? So since we're in 2/3, 3/3, whatever it is, third person angle, that line isn't gonna be in the middle of this rectangle. It's gonna be more on the left side. So let's put our dots. We're gonna do the same before. We're gonna divide this in half. Put your dot. It's gonna be closer this time because it's 2/3. It's gonna be closer to the right side. We're gonna put triangles here. This is just a rough estimate. Now that we have that, let's lower the opacity. So the back of the head is gonna be round. We're gonna put our ear here because it's about the middle of the line. The triangle could have been a little lower, but draw our circles back in. Our nose is going to be in the middle like it was before. Our mouth is going to be right there. We're going to make a thicker neck. A little bit more to the front. It's right here. The spine is still going to the back of the head. And now we can just do that. Put the nose here. Eyebrows. And now that we know where our eyebrows are, we can adjust our hairline. There you go. Not the best face I've ever made, but for the purposes of this video, that'll get you where you need to go, man. That's it for this video, though. If you want to see the rest of the video, or more like this, I'm going to put a link to my Pixif fan box. I no longer have a Patreon. So, I'm going to add a little bit more to this video for the Pixif fan box, guys. Just go a little bit more in-depth. If you want to check that out, subscribe to 1,000 yen a month on my Pixis fan box, which the link is going to be on the description. It's 18 plus only. Sorry. Because the rest of this stream is going to be NSFW. So, Make sure to like, comment. If you want to see more like this, let me know in the comments. Subscribe. Be safe, be kind, and I'll see you guys next time.